Mr. Chair, I would just like to ask the Honorable Secretary, yung replacement cost accounting, pag pababa naman yung presyo, nasisigurado po ba natin na binababa rin accordingly ng mga oil companies? Di ba kasi pag tumataas, ang binagbabasihan nila is yung tumaas na presyo doon. Ngayon, pag pababa naman, nasisigurado ba natin na ganun din ang ginagawa ng mga oil companies, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we monitor that over the years also.
Pangalawa po, Mr. Chair, does the DOE have enough powers at the present situation na kung may makita po kayo na nanamantala dun sa pagtaas at nanamantala din dun sa pagbaba na hindi nila binababa, pwede nyo silang isanction because despite the Oil Deregulation Act, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, the powers has been triggered. We're asserting that mandate triggered by the EO of the President, Mr. Chair. It's the emergency clause under the Oil Deregulation Law, which says the government can take over or control operations of oil companies if there's an emergency.
So, Mr. Chair, ang ibig sabihin po nun, sapat na yung EO at hindi nyo kailangan ng additional immediate powers sa Kongreso po ngayon.
Mr. Chair, now we have an EO, yes, but I think there should be moments that are not technically emergency because there's no declaration, pero dapat may circumstance that DOE should have more powers over this, Mr. Chair.
Pag in-implement na po at binawasan yung excise tax,
Pwede ba,
Yes.
Kong Toby?
napakahalaga po kasi during the time of crisis na may announcement yung gobyerno na ganito yung cap because that gives people confidence na makakayanan yung problema. Madam Secretary, no? So napakahalaga yung may cap because pag nag-announce yung gobyerno ng cap, it shows na kontrolado ng gobyerno yung sitwasyon, no? So I would like to request you kung ano po yung rene-request nyong batas. Please send us the executive version.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pag dumating yung pagkakataon, Mr. Chair, na bawasan yung excise tax or tanggalin yung excise tax kasi binigyan na ng kapangyarihan ng Kongreso ang executive branch, does the DOE have enough manpower to monitor na tama naman yung gagawin ng mga kumpanya? Kasi kung pababa yung presyo at pababa, tinanggal yung excise tax o pabataas yung presyo at tinanggal yung excise tax, dapat talagang na-apply ng oil companies doon sa mga fuel na dumating na walang excise tax. So papaano imo-monitor ng DOE yung dapat na wala ng excise tax kumpara doon sa sasabihin naman nila na ito may excise tax. So paano po yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes, we don't have the manpower for this, but we have the local government units that they're very vigilant and the PNP also. So we can work with them whenever we issue advisory. They're the ones that are implementing and or assisting us, Mr. Chair. So meron naman tayong network na kaya yan, Mr. Chair.
Buti sinabi ni Secretary Garin yung tungkol po sa LGU. But I think they have to give the LGU more powers eh. Alam niyo, for example, may nakita ako sa news sa Navotas Fishport na may supposedly nagtitinda ng illegal na fuel, no? But may mga port kasing ganyan, for example, I think it's the same in other ports, na yung, it has a special charter na yung Navotas Police hindi in charge doon sa peace and order situation doon sa port. Kasi according to the charter of the Navotas Fishport, ang in charge doon sa peace and order is the Maritime Police. Parang ano yan eh, to give an analogy, it's just like the airport na kahit nasa Pasay siya, merong ABSECOM sa loob na hindi local police ang nagpupulis doon. I think ganun din po ba, Congressman Valeriano, sa mga ports sa Manila?
Yeah, merong mga customs police naman.
Customs police, hindi yung local police, di ba? So, yes.
Tsaka hindi ABSECOM. Medyo
Ay, sorry.
1983 pa yun.
So, ano na po ba ngayon? Ano na ngayon, Chairman? Ano bang police sa loob ng airport?
Basta airport police na lang. Sige,
Airport
go ahead,
police.
go ahead.
Hindi, kasi doon mangyayari yung supposed smuggling. For example, doon sa mga pier doon sa Manila na hindi naman local police. So if you want the local government unit to be able to monitor, sana, I don't know kung pasok, pakicheck na lang po sa legal department ninyo, sa executive branch, kung pwedeng during this time of fuel, ano ba tawag nyo? Crisis.
Energy emergency.
Bigyan yung local government through the local police authority to inspect those areas katulad ng Port of Manila, katulad yung fish port namin na hindi strictly according to the charter na binabawalan nila yung local police doon. I think that will really help. I think madami pang port sa buong Pilipinas na ganyan ng sitwasyon eh, na based on their charter, meron silang sariling police, hindi po yung local police.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, we had to resort to the MDRRMC. We consider this as a disaster.
Yes.
So we triggered that with them and they've been helping us with all the implementation. But yes, a more straightforward authorization to the LGU would have been clearer. Mr. Chair, if you can just indulge me in explaining. Ang problema kasi, if you notice when we announce the price, it goes on a range, di ba? Hindi siya definite na aakyat sa 20 pesos. We'll say it comes from 17 to 21 pesos. Why? Because it's a different structure every company. Every island is a different cost consequence, no? And transportation, insurance, and all. So, in times like this, I think it would be easier to implement. Kasi si Mayor, hindi niya alam kung ano ba talaga presyo. Because it goes in a range. So, if there's more clarity on the authority of DOE and on the enforcement, siguro mas maayos yung pagkaka-implement and monitoring the compliance of the oil companies, Mr.
Yes, and last question, Mr. Chair. Kanina po, nag-usap na kami ni Secretary Garin. I was asking her, no, so that she can confirm now. During normal situations, okay naman yung Oil Deregulation Act, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, you need additional powers during special times like this.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Mr. Chair, since my time is up, I will just request Secretary Garin to send her proposal on the amendments of the Oil Deregulation Act, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Toby.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.